All right, guys, welcome to Web 250. It's, what day is it? It's 1/16, January, I guess that's what the one is. January 16th, 2013. I apologize for the slight delay in getting this to you. So hopefully you use the time well to do your introductions and that sort of thing. We've got a lot going on this semester. This is the first time I've taught this class in some time. I'm actually really excited about it because the topics covered in this class are near and dear to my heart. Specifically, you are getting to see the full gamut of what we can do with web applications, all the way from the platform you build on top of, which could be Linux or Windows, all the way up to, or Mac, all the way up to the front end HTML. In this case, you may actually have a file ultimately that has 5 different languages in it. That would be HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and SQL. That's pretty cool, but it's also a little bit complicated. So if you haven't done any programming, you're going to either have to hunker down, or you may want to consider going back and taking a Web 115 or a CS 115. I'm assuming there's a 200 level class. You have some background with both web pages and HTML and these things. If not, you got to decide if this is really the right place for you to be, or you're going to need to really, work hardcore. This is an online class. However, my goal is to make videos like this to help you out, and hopefully have some study sessions here on campus. We could maybe arrange for daytime or nighttime later on as if people run into issues. We have our normal lab facilitators here, and I could arrange a time where everybody meets, maybe either online or here on campus in an afternoon or an evening or something like that. So we'll kind of hit those things as we go. If you're watching this sometime in the future, things may have changed, but for spring of 2013, that's where we are. So everything we're going to do is in Moodle. There will be links from Moodle to these recordings, as well as to other recordings that are used in the web program, like how to set up SFTP and all of that. At the moment, the reason I'm recording with this tool instead of using the normal Panopto is I'm recording from my office instead of from the classroom lab. And Panopto, at the moment, doesn't seem to be able to limit how much of my screen it captures. Since I've got 2 huge screens, you end up with this big recording, and I don't really need that for our purposes. I do expect you all to watch these videos. I will try and make them kind of short and sweet, but knowing who I am, I know that that's hard to do. But I'm going to walk you through a bunch of different things. So this is just my little intro. Policies and procedures, typically stuff is due the Sunday night that you see in Moodle. So for example, you're looking at Moodle right now, and it's the 7th through the 20th of January. So things that are in this section are due that night, the 20th of January. There will be a slight grace period. It's kind of hit or miss how far, probably till like Wednesday night. But think of Sunday as the due date. Don't ask me, is it Sunday midnight or 2 a.m.? I'm not going to be grading at 3 a.m. So if you get it, by the time I wake up in the morning, that counts as meeting that deadline. Please don't get behind. You get behind, you're just going to kill yourself in this class. A lot of students in the past have had to drop this because they just get too far into it. Programming is like one of these heavy-duty math classes. You've got to keep up because everything builds on top of the next thing. You've got to do the readings. Reading is fundamental. And there's many, unlike almost any other subject, there's almost infinite variety of tutorials out there, from lynda.com to W3 Schools to just Google PHP tutorial to what I'm providing to you. So there's really no excuse for saying I didn't know how to do that, because there's so many resources out there. And then everything should be on the discussion forum within Moodle. You've got questions, we've got answers. Hopefully you'll help each other out. I would like to incorporate a pretty heavy participation component in this class, so maybe even up to 1/3 of it will be your involvement and your helping of other students. Maybe that's recording a tutorial, providing a link, giving an attaboy or kudos to one of your classmates, which means you have to be actively involved. You get behind a few weeks, I want you out of the class, right? So if you're not logging in, you're not participating, you need to leave. Don't mean to be harsh, but that's just the way it's got to be. So I'm going to terminate this welcome, and then we're going to get right into the tutorials of things you're going to need. If you haven't already logged into the course, I need you to go in and create an account on JS Fiddle, create accounts on Code Academy. Make sure you can get into lynda.com for your free account through the school. There's links to that effect on the left under this area called Common Content. And you can follow through, get comfortable with all of those. If you have others that we should be adding, let me know. I will probably add links to my YouTube account, because that's where this recording is going to go. And what else can we say about that here? You definitely need to do the CVA verification if you haven't already. And you need to do the Getting Started labs. For those of you who are experienced, and it should be all of you, that should take just a few minutes because you've already done it 5 or 10 times for other classes. Ask questions on the forum if you need help, and look out for announcements as well. And without further ado, I'll finish this and go on to the first tutorial.